Hello, artists at home. It's Mrs. Dermody, and we are going to do some weaving. You should have a kit at home, and in the kit will be a piece of cardboard. Mine's already strung here. A weaving needle that is not really sharp, but will help you weave through the loom. All right, so what you're going to do, a little bit of history about weaving, is just a few things. Here's a handout. And the first thing you have to do is create your warp. And if you look at this handout, let's see. The warp is, there we go. The warp is the vertical strings, like so. And the weft is what you'll be weaving in. And those are the horizontal ones. So the first thing that we have to do is make that loom with the thin, you'll see some thin string, and we're going to do that. And then you will start taking your yarn and going through with the weft. All right. And weaving is a form of textiles. As we all know, we're weaving with yarn. Yarn comes from an animal that has a wool, like a sheep, a llama, alpaca, some types of rabbits, Angora you can get, and they spin that yarn. They spin that wool into yarn, and that's where we get it. And then you can dye them into all sorts of different colors. So I'm really excited to do this project. I'm excited that you're doing it. It can be very relaxing to do at home. You can sit and just relax and listen to music or whatever you want to do and get into this project. All right, let's start weaving. All right, so here we have our weaving set up, and what you're going to do is take that thin string that is in your kit, and you're going to open up your cardboard up so it's completely long and it's not folded. It comes folded because at the end of this project you're going to end up with a little pouch. So you're weaving on both sides of the cardboard. To run the string to make your weft, your warp, you're going to put that first strand there in the notch, and you can tape that down so it does not fall out. And you're going to turn it over, and you're going to be making sure that you're working the side that's bending away from you. So when you close it, you'll have the string on both sides. You run it down, and as you can see, I'm skipping to the next loop right there, and running it back up to the top again, and this becomes very repetitive. Run it over, run it back down, put it in the next notch, run it behind, just skip. So you can see on the back it skips each one. You're just kind of moving it over so then you can run it back up to the top and then to the bottom. And keep doing this until you get all the way to the end. You want to keep these pretty tight. You do not want these very loose. If they're too loose, then your final product will just fall apart. If you run that too tight that you can't close it back up, then that will also be a problem. So you'll see when you get to the end. And if you need to start over, you can always do that. We learn each time we make a mistake. I can't emphasize that enough. So it is okay to make mistakes. And when you have that to the end, you just trim it and take your next piece of tape and you tape it. And then you close it just so. Here's where you can take a rubber band or tape, and just kind of keep it securely closed so it's not opening up on you the whole time. Just like that. And now we are ready to begin our weaving. You're going to pick your color yarn. You have some yarn in the kit. If you have any yarn at home, please feel free to use whichever yarn you would like. You take your needle, and you can thread this without any help, but if you need help threading it, what I like to do is take a small piece of tape. You can use a Post-it note, and you fold it over the yarn so it's easier to thread through the eye of the needle. So you just fold it over that piece of yarn, and then you can just push it right through. You want to tie, you only have to tie one knot. Make sure you have a long enough piece of yarn but not too long. And be thinking about if you want to make a pattern on your project, whether you're alternating two colors or you're just making one color. And to switch a color is pretty simple. All right, to start your weaving, when we start, the important thing about weaving is that you're going over, under, over, under. So if you start over, you are going to go under the next warp with your weft. And kind of push it through. Pull it, and you need to pull it all the way to the end. Not so far that it falls out, but just enough so you have a little tail on the end. And you're going to have to do this each time. And each time you push it down. And then when you're done with that side, you flip it over. And you start again. So once you have flipped it over, you're going to start on the second side, and you're going to make sure that you're going the complete opposite of the weft that is below it. You're going to notice if you're not going opposite because you will start to see the strings. So if the one underneath it is under on that one warp, the one vertical string, then the one above it has to be under. At the end, when you want to put your loom away, what I do is I just take that last bit of string, whatever's lying there, I just kind of wrap it around, tuck it in, put it away, and then pick it up when you're ready to do it again. And that's it. And you just keep going until you get up to the top.